moving to our next session, I would like to introduce an eminent speaker, Dr. Megha Uplane. Dr. Megha Uplane, she is a professor and head of Department of Education and Extension at Savitribai Phule, Pune University. Some people just cannot get enough of being a knowledge gainer, and Dr. Megha Uplane is one of them. She is holding 2 doctorate degrees. One is in physics and second is in education. She has also completed a diploma in computer science. Her area of interest is science and mathematical education, environmental education, measurement and evaluation, educational psychology, and inclusive education. Further, she is holding 29 years of teaching experience. And 8 scholars has awarded a PhD degree under her guidance, and 7 scholars are pursuing their PhDs. 20 students has completed MPhil degree and 5 students are pursuing the same. And more than 130 students are awarded Master in Education under her valuable guidance. And she attended more than 50 conferences. She has 30 publications on her credits. She is also a co-editor of one conference proceeding. She is a co-author of book Research Methodology, SCDL Symbiosis Pune, Scientific Attitude, Lambert Academic Publishing, Germany. Talking about her administrative contribution, she is a member of Academic Council, Savitribai Phule, Pune University at Pune. In Board of Study, she is a chairperson for Administration and Evaluation Board at Savitribai Phule, Pune University. Also, she is a Board of Study member of BAMU University, Aurangabad, SRTM University, Nanded, SNDT University, Mumbai, PAHS University, Solapur, and Spicer Adventist University, Pune. She has also visited Monash University at Australia and USA for inclusive education project on ALA short-term fellowship and research paper presentation respectively. She has received a Best Teacher Educator Award by Maharashtra State and Secondary School Teacher Educator Award in 2017. Now, I kindly request to Dr. Megha Uplane to deliver a talk on research skill for teachers. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for very nice introduction, kind words used for my introduction. And also I would like to thank organizers, institution, management members, principal, Dr. Chaudhary sir, Pimpale sir, and all other successful team members for organizing such a nice event, big event, and which is very much useful for professional development of teachers. Now kindly allow me to share my screen.
Okay, ma'am. You can continue. Ma'am, we have allowed you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as per the discussion with Dr. Pimple, and other team members. The topic for this particular session is teacher as researcher, or teacher when you are working with your students for better teaching learning process. What are the research skills required for every teacher is a topic for this particular session. And I think everyone is doing experiment in his or her classroom, but we are not particular in documentation because we don't have that kind of intention and even kind of training for that particular thing. And this session is an attempt to make aware regarding these required skills when teacher is in his or her classroom as a researcher. Why this is important? Because as Ramsden says, this is an research outcome of his research conducted on a very large scale data. The aim of teaching is simple. It is to make students' learning possible. I think as teacher, every one of us can understand the depth of the statement. The aim of teaching is simple. It is to make students' learning possible. And making every student's learning possible is a very challenging job that we all know when we are working in our classrooms. He further says, to teach is to make an assumption about what and how the student learns. What and how the student learns. What is with us, but how is with students. And the process of learning is so difficult to explain, and teacher has to work on this particular procedure. Any teacher in pharmacy class, teacher in engineering class, teacher in teacher education class or school class, or even pre-primary classes. The role of teacher is very important if he or she thinks on how the student learns. And therefore, to teach well implies learning about students' learning. And I think you all must have concluded that why this session is. To teach well implies learning about students' learning. And this learning about students' learning is not possible if teacher is supposed to deal with all his students as research subjects. And if the focus of the teacher is, it should be as a research procedure. How my students will learn more. How my students will learn better. So learning about students' learning. And that's why the session is planned. That is my assumption. All of you have done your education in pharmacy degrees, B Pharm, M Pharm, and I am happy to share that I started my career as a teacher in pharmacy college. I was teaching physics in pharmacy college when it was D pharmacy course was after 10th standard. And there I was physics teacher in pharmacy college. So I'm happy to share with you all these things. Now, when we consider research component with you all, I know that many of you have done your researches for MPhil and PhD degrees. So all teachers, not only pharmacy, all teachers do their researches in their respective subjects or disciplines, physics, chemistry, or your subjects, or engineering subjects, architecture subjects, any other. So this is one way to look at research. Another is for grants, that is research funding. It is also related with own subject or sometimes interdisciplinary, as in new policy focus is interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary approach. So these are the two aspects of research where we are dealing with when we started our career. But for better teaching learning process, when researches are required to be conducted, every teacher is supposed to conduct research for better teaching learning process regarding his or her subject or course, we can say now, as per the new nomenclature, as we are working with CBCS, and that is called as action research. So the today's focus is regarding action researches to be conducted by teachers. Teacher may be from pharmacy, maybe from architecture discipline, or from engineering, or from any other subject. When teacher enters in the class, the area of his research focus, if his students are at the center of his teaching learning process, and if he or she is doing something with purpose and makes proper documentation, that is called as action research. So today we will consider few aspects regarding action research. Now, action research is a study and enhancement of one's own practice. So even if it is considered on our students, it is for us, for teachers, and for what? Study and enhancement of one's own practice, and also teachers' view as researcher or critical inquiries of their own practice. So I should know how this particular content is to be presented if I expect my students learn in better manner or at expected depth of the content. So friends, this statement is very important in my opinion. Learning to teach is a lifelong endeavor. Learning to teach, and not only to teach effectively, to teach with all efforts, to teach for the fulfillment of expected learning outcomes. If that is a focus of teaching, then learning to teach in that way is a lifelong endeavor. And I think this is very important. If we all have accepted teaching as our profession, since we call it as a noble profession, we have to work to keep it as really a noble profession. And therefore, when we talk about strong educator of any faculty, any discipline, research is not just the domain of an expert outside the classroom. It is also the domain of the teaching professional. So classroom should not be a black box that outsider will come and do research, but he or she will not know what exactly happens when teacher teaches in the classroom. And therefore, if teaching professional is engaged in research activity, then that will be a true research regarding classroom. This action research is an interactive process. It starts from question. It starts from question which is in teacher's mind, which is regarding difficulty level of any content, different method for teaching, method for instruction, method for experimentation, use of different technique, use of different tool, and then he implies it, observes, reflects, and again takes actions if required. And that's why this is called as, and this is a cycle. It's ongoing cycle, spiral. It's ongoing process, interactive process. And therefore, the statement which we considered in the previous slide, that is learning to teach is a lifelong endeavor. That is true. Good teachers are good researchers. Even if they have not documented anything, good teachers are good researchers because they have experimented many times, many things, and come across some conclusion that this particular content should be delivered in this particular way, then my students understand in a better way. So good teachers are good researchers. If they were not, they would not be good teachers. So we all are researchers. The only difference is where we lagging back behind is we are not trained for its documentation. We are doing action researches, but we are not documenting action researches. That is the only thing. Now, according to Henson, action research helps teachers. Why to conduct? It helps teachers develop new knowledge directly related to their classrooms. Very important. Promotes reflective teaching and thinking. Expands teachers' pedagogical repertoire. Puts teachers in charge of their craft. Very important. And we often enjoy this kind of freedom in our classrooms. Reinforces the link between practice and the student achievement. Fosters an openness towards new ideas and learning new things. It gives teachers ownership of effective practices. And therefore, action researches are important. Now, labels for action researches or researches conducted by teachers. When we go through the literature related to teacher researches or researches conducted by teachers, these are the different labels we get. Action research, practitioner research, collaborative inquiry, critical inquiry, self-study, and teacher research. So these are the different labels given for researches done by teachers in their classrooms. Now, if we consider one label and we will proceed further, if we consider action research is a label for teacher-made research, classroom research by teachers, practical research, anything teachers do to collect data, informal research, research with the goal of developing the situation and the researcher. So these are the again some reference points regarding action research. Now, action research philosophy or teacher research philosophy. The first and very important thing is teacher as a researcher. Here teacher is a researcher, but there is a major transition in the role, because if, as Sheikh Madam told us in her session regarding how to write review article, how to collect, how to consider review as a related literature, how this relatedness is to be checked. And she explained very nicely regarding silica particle size in some nanoparticle research. Now, if you will be dealing your research regarding pharmacy subjects or chemistry subjects or physics subjects, then the components to be considered are much different than action research. There you will be dealing with glasswares and how to clean them, which kind of cleaner is to be used, how they will be dried up, which kind of chemicals are to be used. If you will be dealing with animal research, different aspects are to be considered. But whatever is the background, engineer may have different kind of researches, electronics persons may have different kind of aspects to be considered, transformers and transducers and other oscillators, many other different things. But the platform where all teachers become same kind of researchers is classroom, and there all are dealing with their students, human beings. And these are the students coming from different backgrounds. Each one have carried different genetic pool, different characteristics, different situations at home, and different kind of parenting they have, the different kind of parents, then different kind of parenting. The experiences are different. The very varied or scattered, we can say, spectrum will be there. But even if all these differences are there, the common thing is he or she is a student in your classroom. And as a teacher researcher, you will be dealing experiment, or you will be observing them, you will be interviewing them, collecting data from them as student. The common thing is they are students and learning your subject. They are studying in your school. So teacher as a researcher, but dealing with social science research. So when you will be conducting action researches, thinking of action researches, you should have at least some knowledge regarding social science research methods, how to collect data and how to analyze data. And therefore this action research philosophy component is very important. Action researches are mainly contributing in educational reforms. Very important. Encourages teachers to be collaborators in revising curriculum. So action researches are not only for solving problems in teaching of your own subjects. No, there are many other very broad aspects are also there, and teacher can contribute in curriculum development and curriculum revision conducting his action researches. Improving their work environment, professionalizing, teaching, developing policy. So all these are possible if teachers conduct researches in their classrooms and schools and colleges. Can be used as an evaluative tool which can assist in self-evaluation, whether the self be an individual or an institution. So collaborative researches also can be considered in this way. Now, action research is a flexible spiral, as we have seen. A flexible spiral process which allows action for what? For change, for improvement, and research, that is understanding or knowledge, to be achieved at the same time. Very nice description of action research. How it will be conducted? It will be conducted using this particular cycle, which we have seen earlier also. identifying an issue and developing a research question. Once the question is framed, learn more about your issue. What does research show? So here comes the role of related literature, theoretical aspects, and here every teacher should know at least important learning theories. So this iterative process should give finally the concise research question, and then what is given in the related researches, as Sheikh Madam explained in the previous session. Then the developing strategy for the study. So what can be done and how it can be implemented, it will be considered in this phase. And after that, the actual implementation of the developed strategy, and then data collection and data analysis will be done, and taking action and sharing the conclusions with your community, teacher community, so that other teachers working for the same subject will also implement this kind of strategy, and they will also be benefited. Students will also be benefited from other institutions also. So this is a simple way of this thing. For example, some topic is there, and teacher observe that this topic is bit difficult for students understanding, and if literature gives some thread that mind maps or concept maps are useful for this kind of content, and if the teacher enlists number of possibilities and tries for the better option, and if he or she selects concept maps and prepares concept maps for some content, then implement that particular concept map training to his or her students and asks for the remaining content, and if students get benefited, and therefore data gathering tool must include that pre-test and post-test. Pre-test will be after his traditional teaching, and post-test will be after his experiment. And after analysis, the difference between pre-test and post-test mean scores, it will be easy to identify the effectiveness of the treatment given. I know when I am saying this, number of teachers are counting their workload, and they may be surprised that madam doesn't know that how much workload we are taking already. And what about syllabus completion? We are already lagging behind. We have less time. But these are the experiments, and we have to take extra, what can I say, give extra time and to conduct this kind of experiments, which are a true contribution to the field of education, to our own faculty, for my own subject. And then if this is important and this is useful, after some repetitions, if you feel this is very useful, then share this with your teaching community, or you can write research paper and you can publish it in your journals. So this is also possible. Now, there are some differences, basic differences between action researches and formal researches. In formal researches, there are predetermined expectations, and in action researches, the nature of research is exploratory. So it cannot be predetermined. When teacher feels regarding that research problem, research starts. The outcomes of formal researches are generalizable. Once you calculate, then you can generalize, you can publish. But that is not a case in case of action research, because your solutions are context specific. You have taken your classroom as a sample, as subjects for your research. So these are context specific. So generalization is not easy. Number of cycles are required in various situations. Formal researches, the emphasis on validity and reliability, and in action researches, emphasis on insightfulness. Insightfulness, very important. And here the whole focus is for insightfulness. Insightfulness regarding number of things. Why this content, my students feel this content is difficult. This experiment is difficult. Why? What was the reason? When institute is trying to identify regarding the reasons behind behavioral patterns, their action researches can work, and therefore emphasis is on insightfulness. Formal researches focused on contributing knowledge, generation of knowledge, creation of knowledge. And we all know that why researches are conducted. Researches are conducted for generation of new knowledge. And action researches are focused on addressing immediate concerns. And this is very important in the whole process of teaching and learning. And as teachers, we should be very careful and very what can I say, very eager to solve our immediate problems in our classrooms. So if we come to the goals of action researches are conducted for deeper understanding of a specific context. This is very important, and clear condition and greater awareness by teacher researcher regarding many things, regarding difficulties in understanding, regarding revision of curriculum, regarding new suggestions for the future curriculum. So there are many things, not only testing solutions, objective findings, widely applicable theory. These are also done in action researches, but not only these things, these are very important aspects of action research. Deciding on focus. Once as a teacher we decide to conduct some research, we should be able to decide on the focus. What are you curious about? What would you like to know reasons for? What gaps are there between your current performance and your ideal performance? Why do your students behave the way they do? Why do your students believe as they do? So these are some of the aspects which can be used as selection criteria for the action research topics. Now, stages in action research. Once we teacher decide to conduct some action research, these are the stages. Deciding on focus, as discussed in the previous slide, an area you want to understand more deeply, not necessarily a problem, as we frame in our traditional researches. Deciding on the type of data that sheds light on the focus. So here we are required to decide type of data. So type of data means there are two types of data, quantitative and qualitative. So number of open and closed teacher questions, average length of student response. These are the criteria for quantitative data. Quantitative data means where the data comes in numerical form, and qualitative obviously in terms of words, diagrams, figures. Examination of student talk during a group work task to identify how they work together to complete the task. So here, for example, this is a nature of activity. Then here teacher has to plan for observation schedule, and he has to clearly define what is to be observed, and observations will be noted, and then those will be analyzed. Detailed examination of teacher instructions to identify components. Now data analysis, if data is quantitative, frequency, percentage, mean score, standard deviation, or if you want, t-test also can be used, paired t-test. Qualitative, if data is qualitative, identifying key features, thematic categorization, or narrative explanations, narrations can be given. Goal of analysis, whatever nature of data and whatever data analysis tool you can use, the goal of analysis is to provide as much insight as possible, and that is very important. Now, if we consider research, how research problems differ for quantitative and qualitative researches. Use quantitative research if your research problem requires two major variables. It means that you should have a tool to measure variable. Assess the impact of these variables on an outcome. Test theories or broad explanations. Apply results to large number of people. Then your choice should be quantitative data, quantitative research, and use qualitative if your research problem requires you to learn about the views of the people you plan to study. Assess the processes over time, longitudinal studies. Generate theories based on participant perspectives. Obtain detailed information about a few people or research sites. So these are the situations. If your research comes across this kind of situations, then your research should be, data should be qualitative in nature, and you have to plan for that in that particular way. Next stage in action research is organizing collection of the data, analyzing the data, reflecting on the finding of personal development, and disseminating your findings in your community. Now the typical instruments used in action research. Observing, for observations, video recording is possible. Then these records are to be converted into transcripts or descriptions. View audio recordings, then also we need to convert into transcripts. Observation sheets, observation notes. Student work is another source of data, essays, tests, etc. And for the asking purpose, diaries are also important, interviews, questionnaires. So questions can be prepared and asked, and their answers should be, answers can be noted and further analyzed. So if we look at the action research cycle, in a simple way, action, critical reflection by teacher as researcher, and again modified action, further critical reflection till the problem gets solved or till the inquiry gets satisfactory answer. If we consider action research spiral in detailed way, it looks like this: action, critical review, planning. So critical reflection includes these two: critical review and then revised planning. Again action, outcome analysis, then critical review, planning, till you get answer of your research question. Now, as researchers, 4 beliefs that underlie action research. Number 1, teachers should have opportunity to engage in professional growth. This is a way, this is an opportunity. Teachers want to improve their practice and need data to do so. So everything should be data based. That's what I am saying right from the beginning, that we are doing action researches, but we are lagging behind in documentation process. Given the opportunity and the resources, of course, including time, teachers are able to carry out action research studies that will inform their practice. So these are the reflections of our teaching practices in our classrooms. A justification for action research is that no matter how conclusive research findings are regarding a particular practice or innovation, it may not be applicable to certain classrooms. Thus, it is important for teachers to examine findings of their own context. So friends, you must have identified the word which is coming frequently is context specific thing. So every action research is context specific. So no matter if it is not applicable in other situations, in other classrooms, in other cities, no matter, if it gives answer, it gives solution to your classroom problem, it is a success of action research conducted by you as research. Now, where action research can be conducted means what are the action research areas? So typical action research areas are teacher talk, interaction between teacher and students, student talk, student behavior on tasks. If tasks are given, if students are working in laboratories on their various projects, their observations can also be a area of action research. Student attitudes and beliefs. So tools can be prepared for attitude measurement or belief measurement by teachers. It may be a collaborative study, and data can be collected, and we can come to the conclusion regarding our own institution, what are student attitudes and beliefs towards something. So these researches can be conducted. Researches can be conducted for effective teaching. Effective teaching means, of course, pre-active stage, teacher thought process, task analysis, then educational outcomes, achievement of educational outcomes. So these are areas for effective teaching. If planning for effective teaching, Bloom's taxonomy is a basic thing that every teacher should know. I hope you all know this. If you don't know, please read something about Bloom's taxonomy. Achieve educational outcomes. If we consider educational outcomes, important learning principles and classroom management principles are required. You are supposed to go through at least these two things, and then you can plan your action researches. What are important learning principles? That is task description, perceived purpose, appropriate practice, knowledge of results, motivation, individual differentiation, developmental awareness. So all these are areas of action research. If we consider classroom management, productive management, managing the behavior of students, minimizing boredom and frustration, creating conducive learning environment, student-centered instructional approach. Or if we are now dealing with this kind of pandemic situation, what is the psychology of online learners, where can maybe one of the action research topic. Then what is management of online resources by teachers. So there are so many areas where we can have action researches. Now, if teacher plans to conduct any action research, then this is an outline for action research proposal. Introduction, problem statement, then objectives of the research, hypothesis of the research or research questions, whatever, summary description of intervention considering probable context and review supported. I'm sorry, this spelling is wrong. Review supported. And sixth point is review of related literature. Then you come to research methodology, method of research, sample. Now here whole classroom will be sample, or whole institution will be sample. What are the data collection tools to be used or techniques to be used? Detailed description of intervention and data collection procedures. Then data analysis plan, chapterization and time schedule. So these are components of except few points. Now skills required for action researches. Planning research. Research planning is required skill. Doing research. The need to conduct deep research on the topic. Deep research, because we are working context specific research problems. Data collection skills, data management skills, analyze each source and the data it contains, synthesize the material and evaluate it. So data management requires data analysis and data it contains, synthesize and evaluate. So before analysis, data management is very important step. And friends, if you consider quantitative data, outliers, you know that in quantitative researches, we remove outliers. But when you are working with qualitative data, if you consider qualitative data, you have to work on identities, similarities, and singularities. So this is a very difference between quantitative and qualitative research that we have to keep in mind when we are doing our data management. So these skills are also required. Then data analysis skills. Nowadays with computers, easily data can be analyzed. So this data analysis skills will include, you should be able to describe your data under the heading descriptive statistics, which will include mean, median, or a standard deviation of the data. And in inferential statistics, there may be t-test. So easily you can compute t-tests and you can come to the conclusion regarding significance of your results. And after that, report writing skills are also required. And I think obviously you all have, many of you may have already done your PhDs. You have already drafted your research reports, and here my purpose is for those who are new entrants in the field of teaching learning. So the structure of research report is like this. It will include title page, title, author name and institutional affiliation, preliminary pages. It may include declaration, certificate if any. If it is a collaborative research, management's letter is required, acknowledgement page, content or index, then list of tables, list of figures, then main body of the research report. After that, references and appendices where the useful and related information to your actual research can be included. Now the main body of the research report will have these information. In introduction part, statement of the problem, background, review of literature, purpose and rationale of the research. Then method and materials. Who are your subjects? What are subjects' characteristics? Description of your students. Or if the research is conducted on teachers, subjects will be teachers, apparatus or instrumentation. Whatever data collection instruments we have designed or developed or used. If you use ready-made, then what were the criteria for selection of those instruments that will be included in this part. And research data collection procedure, description of data collection procedure. After that, results, tables and figures, if appropriate, these follow the author note and statistical presentation. And after that, support or non-support of hypothesis, whatever result. It is not necessary that every time researcher should be succeeded whatever after his intervention. Many times it may happen that the proposed intervention is not useful. So whatever result you have got, intellectual honesty should be there and report as it is, and practical and theoretical implications, and then conclusion of the research. Now, when we are dealing with research report, research report is a systematic, articulate and orderly presentation of research work in the written form. It is a research document that contains basic aspects of the research project. It involves relevant information on the research work, and it may be in the form of handwritten, typed, or computerized as per the availability of things. So, what are the skills required for research report writing? Analyze information sources. So search for credible information sources. So data validation is very important. So sources should be validated, and careful research trustworthy sources, analyze each source and the data, synthesize the material, evaluate it. Then brainstorm original ideas and avoid plagiarism. Submit an authentic paper. Brainstorm creative ideas without stealing the thoughts of other authors. Provide a rewarding experience after writing the research report in a skillful and authentic way. Now, writing as a learning process. It should be considered as learning process. So construct arguments in a logical manner. Acknowledge criticism and weaknesses in the writing. Synthesize ideas. Make arguments sharper. Facilitate our self-reflection on the process, content, direction, or context of the study. Because if we are talking about generalization, it is not easily possible in case of action researches. So learn to focus on the key issue. It requires full concentration on a central focus. Investigate the topic hypothesis, reviewing lots of articles, documents, and publications. So it may happen that for several classroom specific or subject specific topics, you may not get related literature for review or experimental support. So that is also we have to keep in mind. Also keep in mind the focus in the right direction. So next point is writing for communication, because research outcomes are not for decorating our libraries with research reports. The outcome should be communicated. Research outcomes should be disseminated to the community so that other researchers can get ideas and accelerate those ideas further. One picture may be worth 1,000 words. So appropriate use of figures, graphs is expected. Use of visual techniques, graphs and tables, adjust our tone and vocabulary according to the various audiences coming from the whole range of backgrounds. So communication is important. Higher level language is not expected. Develop a questioning mindset, examine the problem, find effective solution after weighing all the pros and cons. So these are the things which we have to keep in mind while reporting our action research. And I hope after this program, you all will start documenting your action researches, which you are doing already. And if you are not doing, start doing, because that may help students' growth, your own growth, as well as institutional growth. I wish all the best for action researches to be conducted by all of you. Thank you once again for the opportunity given. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you once again, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
for sharing your knowledge. Now, a question answer session has been started. So, anyone is having questions, they can just raise their hand. Okay. So, I would like to summarize the session. So the topic was research skills for teachers. Ma'am has introduced the term that is action research for us, how it helps the teachers in developing new knowledge, what are the different aspects of action research, learning theory for teachers. Then she explained the basic difference between action research and formal research. Next, goals involved in action research, then different stages involved, and also knew how can we as a teachers note the observations and evaluate the observations. Then next she introduced the steps involved in effective teaching. What is mean by Bloom's taxonomy for planning a effective teaching. Then she shared the research report structure for newcomers. This is so awesome. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now, on behalf of our principal, Dr. P.D. Chaudhary, and coordinator, Dr. Bhushan Pimple sir, please accept our sincere appreciation.
Nice, nice, very nice.
I kindly request you to accept our virtual certificate.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.